Hi guys, so here we are again. Here we are with the good old Fern Cotton Happy Journal. This is it. I'm gonna continue on now from the 21st of February, which is the Tuesday. Um, Big entry on this one. We all have things about ourselves we don't like so much. We beat ourselves up and compare ourselves to others. These personal hates can really hold us back as we get so blindsided by their size. We blow up these shortcomings to supersized proportions and forget about the good stuff. Write a list here of the things you don't like about yourself. It could be the personality traits, mistakes you've made, body parts, words spoken. Get it all out and know that every one of us has a list like this. Set it free on these pages and then work your way back through the list to see how you might be able to start accepting some of them. So I hate the fact that it's not a list really, it's just like written. I hate the fact that I'm too trusting. I wear my heart on my sleeve and open myself to abuse again and again and again. I forgive too easily. I hold back saying what I truly feel in case I upset the other person. I wish I could openly say what I feel rather than mince my words and clam up. I hate the fact that I don't stand up for myself. I wish I learned to love me more. I hate the fact I worry about others think of me. I get frustrated and angry. I hate sometimes this body I have, and I wish I was free from my health. Um, yeah, yeah, it's things like that that I just wish, I wasn't so hating my own company. Um, I jumped literally from relationship to relationship, which then attracts others. I know that I've chatted to a predator hunter who talks openly about abuse, not just children's abuse, but also about relationships, domestic violence. And she said that it's a very common thing to actually, you hate being on your own. So you really attract that same person, a like for like for like, if you like. And the fact that I've had 5 lots of it, one after the other, is just completely shit. Yeah, I do wish I'd been able to save myself from all that hurt. I wish I could have just basically gone from a relationship that started off good. And I married him and he was a good person. But then the alcohol completely changed him and completely made him a completely different person. It was really, really hard. The stuff he'd come out with, how he was, the drinking just got worse and worse and worse, and how he was with my son was just awful. My son was about 9 at the time, maybe a bit younger than that. I think he was 7 when we got married. But it was hard. And I do regret, not getting used to my own company, liking my own company, getting to know me, getting to know who I was. And it's taken a lot of abuse and domestic violence to be able to suddenly think, do you know what? I don't want this anymore. I've had enough. I want to start finding who I am, because I've always been in the shadow of another person, suppressed and not allowed to be that person that I wanted to be. It's taken its time for me to get to know who I am, because I've never really got to know that person. And the wigs, the makeup, all came when we moved. You know, a complete fresh start. I don't think I'd be doing this if we were still living where we used to live. We used to have bullies either side of where we lived that liked us to toe the line with their way of thinking and everything. So that was hard, you know. So I personally just wanted to be able to get to know myself, surround myself with, and turn the place all girly and gorgeous. Yeah, having a sort through, a clear out of old stuff, old bad memories and things. I mean, I've lost a shed load of weight, but recently it's like I'm having a lot of issues with something else that I've been to the doctors with today. And I've put a stone on. I know I have anyway, before I stepped on the scales, because I could see it in my face on videos, and I thought I looked more rounded. And my clothes feel a bit snugger and stuff, but I just think, you know what, I'm not bothered. You know, so long as I'm not back to where I was at the beginning when I was trying to get back down in the weight. I'm well below goal weight, so I'm happy with that. I've accepted that this body is who I am. You know, I hate my skin. I hate my, I think if I was to get in a relationship, he'd want this anyway, all this. My skin is just horrible, scabby, flaky, horrible. No one would want it. Ugh. It's angry skin. And I just hate it. I'm paranoid about it. So yeah, so there's that side of things. But I've learned to accept, you know what, this is me, this is who I am, this is my body, this is it. I was born with my knees twisted and my toes twisted and stuff. So I was born with all these issues to start off with. I nearly died. Well, I did die when I was 5. I had a severe asthma attack that I remember it all so clearly. I remember the night before there was a party at an auntie's house, and me and my cousins that were around about the sort of age group, we were all playing, running up and down the stairs, and we shouted out, "Stop running around, calm down now." And then there was records were being put on, and we would be jigging around to the music and dancing and jumping up and down as kids do and getting all excited. And I just remember waking up the next morning and hearing these voices. Well, it wasn't voices. It was me wheezing, but to me it sounded like someone talking. It was a funny sound. And I remember going to the toilet and really being sick and just feeling horrible. And then sort of going in, because I think Mum and Dad were asleep, because I woke up really early sort of thing. And I remember struggling. And then my mum come into me, and I could just see the panic in their faces. Mum and Dad, they both looked, I can still remember it now. And then I hear the sounds of because Mum and Dad's got creaky stairs, the dodgy floorboard that makes a hell of a noise as you're going up and down the stairs, and I just remember hearing the floorboards going and me needing to be sick and struggling to breathe. And I remember hearing my mum on the phone downstairs, and then I remember a neighbour coming upstairs, and I'm thinking, what are you doing here, sort of thing. And I felt like I just wanted to go to sleep, but all these people are standing around my bed, and it was strange. And I just remember, some man, which turned out to be one of the doctors that, because I remember our next door neighbour at the time, she was a sister at the hospital. And of course, the matrons and all that, they carried a lot of weight back then. And I know I heard her say he's got to come out. I remember my mum saying he's having his dinner. Can you imagine nowadays, your child's dying and it's like you ring a GP, which goes to the doctor's house, and they're having the dinner. It's like you can wait till after. Be struck off. But this is like, what, 70s? 1980, something like that. So yeah, I remember this man standing at the bottom, around my bed, and sort of feeling my hand, which was my pulse, obviously, and stuff like that. I could see clearly, and next door neighbour, Mrs. Dougal, shouting at him, she needs an ambulance. Ambulances were on strike at that time. And he was like, oh yeah, she's having an asthma attack. And so my mum had to ring, like, her mum, who then raced down to the pub on the corner of where my gran lived, and she raced and got my two uncles to get out the pub and go and get me. But my uncle had a little blue van, and I remember being bundled into the back of that. I can still remember the carpet on the back, in the back, on the floor. And I remember my mum being with me, and I think my dad was at home because my brother was only a baby. And then I remember going into the hospital, and I remember some man in a white coat, and I can still remember his face and his curly, weird 70s looking hair. Literally carrying me in his arms and running with me down the corridor, into a room which was obviously resus. And I had a mask on and oxygen, and I remember it all. And I remember all the needles in me that were being pushed in. And my mum says that I was white. I was literally white. And under my eyes were navy blue. My lips were navy blue. My nails were blue. I was dead, virtually. It was like they were ready to bring me round if I did die. So I was like, literally, that was my close to death experience. And when they say if you had a trauma, maybe that's what's caused fibromyalgia. That for me is my trauma. So yeah. And I just think that I'm here. The body that I hate is here. I'm alive. I've got my son, my cats, my mum and dad, it's like, yeah. And that's why it's like, I sort of accept the body that I've got, because this is what I've been born with. And and it's in constant pain all the time, even right now. And I can smile, I can laugh, but I'm still in agony. And yeah, but it's the body that I've got. I mean, it used to annoy me so much when I'd go to Weight Watchers and there'd be a woman that'd be sat behind me that was like, oh, I don't like my body. Oh, I can't wear shorts. And there was nothing to her. And I turned round and I said, I'm the person, the size that you don't want to be. I'm like the enemy that's in your head of what you look like, but you don't look like that. And I says, and I wear shorts. I sort of thought, sod it. And then I sort of motivated others at Weight Watchers to wear stuff that before they'd never thought that they would ever wear. Jumpsuits and play suits and all that sort of stuff. I was wearing them. I thought, I ain't, hiding myself away just because. I've had people stare at me because my knees are huge, my legs are huge. I had one kid pointing and look at that lady's legs. And I'd be thinking, stuff like that. And I'd think, sod you. So I've learned to embrace it, the body that I've got. I accept it. This is me. My skin, it's just on fire all the time. There's no end to this. But it's me. It's me. It's who I am. So there we are. Right, I'm going to move on before I start. I'm getting emotional. So Wednesday, the 22nd of February. Don't text your ex. That's what it says in big capital letters. It might be tempting, but it will usually only end up in tears. I've done this many a time when I've been single, and I've usually ended up feeling so much worse about myself afterwards. Delete their phone number if you need to. And I've put block, deleted on Facebook, YouTube, mobile, TikTok, everything, every platform, everything, every bit of communication they can think of. And even when they create new accounts, I basically, sometimes I'll put different names in that they would use, aliases, and I just think, think inside that, like what they would think, and that's what I do. And then I find usually a profile, I should say, and I block, I delete, and they don't like it. I've had the last one that I was with, he stalked me no end of times. He's been warned by the police now to stay away. And literally, he would create Facebook account after Facebook account. And I think, how the hell can you sit there and make up new passwords, profiles, all the rest of it? It would just do my head in. So, yeah. But I always block deleted every time. The only thing I haven't done is change my home number, my mobile. When we moved, our house number changed and he used to phone me constantly. There were times I used to pick the phone up and I wouldn't speak, but I'd just leave it because I knew it was him. And I'd put it by the television and let him listen to whatever, taking all the credit from his phone. That's what I used to do. He's messaged me on emails. He's done all sorts. He's posed as a buyer for stuff that I've sold on various accounts, on various platforms. I've stopped doing it now. I've stopped selling stuff hang on, let me just have a swig of my drink. I've stopped selling stuff locally because I just don't want to be sort of pestered. Hot chocolate. I was just so desperate for a drink. Malteser one, it's lovely. So yeah, that's what I did. I just literally, every time something new popped up and I knew it'd be him. And then at one point he was watching me pack. He'd be stood outside, literally in my window, in the dark, watching me packing. And I know he'd done that because he gave himself away to someone with photographs and stuff. And then he was messaging me at one point over a car that was parked outside a neighbour's driveway, but he was adamant that it was my latest person. And I'm like, no. But I just got fed up with it. And then when we moved here, it's been a complete break. I've still been pestered for a while, but then the police have sort of contacted him. He thought he wasn't contactable. But it's done with now. So, yeah. So that's been good. But if he was to pop up again, or any of the others, because I did have another one pop up. I hadn't seen him for 10 years. 10 years of nothing. And then all of a sudden one day, it's like I've got rid of one abuser. And then another one pops up. I haven't seen him for 10 years. And then my phone starts messages coming through. And then he starts ringing me. And then he starts wanting me to get back with him. I just kept thinking, what a bloody cheek. You know, you've put my son through hell. Really mentally abused him. And you expect me to just say, yeah, come on back, we'll have you. It don't work like that. Don't work like that at all. You know, the trauma that we both went through because of him. No. He's out. Exes are exes for a reason. Don't take them back. My Strictly cup. I love this. My friend who helped me out getting out of the abuse of the last one. She got me that in a big hamper of goodies at the time. Oh God.